Well, October's issue of Denver Life magazine is dedicated to cool men's fashions and smooth old fashions, the drink that is. Woody Creek Distiller star spokesdude William H. Macy bellied up to the bar at William and Graham to share his story with Risa and give us a little Fargo to kick it off.
Here's my deal here, Wade. I live in Woody Creek. Felicity grew up there, which is how I got involved with the distillery. She moved there when she was about 7 or 8 years old, and I started dating her when she was 9 years old. No, just kidding. And when she and I started dating, we met through the Atlantic Theater Company in New York, and I started going to Woody Creek, and my heart was stolen on the very first visit, not only by the Roaring Fork Valley, but her family. I just adored them. So I've been going to Woody Creek for 35, 40 years, something like that. And then when her mom passed, we made a play to buy her childhood home, which was an excellent husband move. I recommend it highly to all my husband friends. And with the help of her siblings, we were able to buy the place, and that's where we live, and I'm a Coloradan now. The distillery was started by Mary and Pat Scanlon and Mark Kleckner, and I live here, and Mark lives there, and Mary and Pat live there on our road. And
that's kind of lucky. I mean, that's like a really lucky.
It's kismet. It was just perfect. I woke up one morning. We have big pastures because my wife rides and her brother rides, and he lives with us. And one of the pastures was in bloom with these magnificent white flowers, like a carpet. And it seemed to have happened overnight. And I asked Moore, her brother, what is with the flowers? And he said, well, we made a deal with Woody Creek Distillery in return for them cutting our fields and haying it. We'll split the hay, and I let them use that pasture to grow potatoes. And it was about a week or 10 days later that Mark Kleckner came to the door, knocked and said, hi, Bill, I'm your neighbor. We have a distillery, the Woody Creek Distillery. And I said, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm in. In college, I had a love affair with Scotch whiskey, and I did a lot of research and reading about it. And I find it very romantic. Distilling is so old, we don't even know who invented it. It predates written history. And it's not that simple a process, but somebody thought of it at some point. And perhaps it started in several places at the same time. But I find it one of the most sublime things mankind has ever done.
So, as you're tasting, you tasted several barrels, lots of barrels, before they pulled, I guess, what's the terminology, selected for your collection,
yes, my signatures.
Right. How did that process
It's a traditional thing. You do a blind tasting. It's an experience. And I did it with some men and women who were so good that you could give them a bourbon and they could tell you what county in Kentucky it came from. Their palates are that good. Me, not so much. So I was faking it, but it worked out.
I think it worked out okay. I mean,
oh, it did.
You know,
they give you a little pad. You're supposed to take notes.
Right.
I didn't know what I was trying to crib off their notes to see what.
And, so you're cheating like in 8th grade?
Just like 8th grade,
oh,
yeah. I finally I said, pick up milk and avocados on the way home. We had 8 barrels on that first one. You get a little glass of it. You've got a glass of water and a spit glass, which I kept forgetting to do.
Oh yeah, why
I'm not
would
used
you?
to spitting it out. I've been drinking professionally for about 18 years now, and I imitated the other people. You know, you make a face. You get thoughty, you smell it in a particular way. They did teach me some things, you know, like toss it way back so you feel it in the back of your mouth before the tip of your tongue. We went through all of them. There were 3 that I liked, particularly, out of the 8. So at the end, I tasted all 3 again, and there were 2 that were clearly in the front, and then finally I chose one, and much to my joyful surprise, 3 other people chose that barrel of rye whiskey also.
Nice.
But I'm the movie star, so we put my name on it. This recent blind tasting we did, I chose a straight rye whiskey. America's drink, not bourbon, rye whiskey.
And I understand that's coming out in November, so
Yes.
people are doing pre-orders now.
Yep.
So they need to, as a spokesdude, you're going to say, let's order it now, right?
Yep, you can go on woodycreek.com, and that's pretty much where we're going to sell this Macy Reserve, as we call it.
Oh, I like that.
It's pretty cool.
And your
having
name's on the
name
bottle
Oh,
and everything.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
This is the Denver Life magazine that you keep on that coffee table. Pick up October's issue featuring William H. Macy and his Woody Creek story. Pick it up at King Soopers, Safeway, Barnes & Noble, or Tattered Cover. And if you can't wait, well, get your digital copy at Zinio.com right now. Shop Woody Creek Distillers online at woodycreekdistillers.com. Okay, everyone, now let's head back to William and Graham in Denver, where Woody Creek Distillers star spokesdude William H. Macy chatted with Risa.
I mean, did you ever in a million years think that you'd be this big? That you'd be doing a fashion spread in Denver Life magazine plus all of this?
Never.
I will say the pictures in here are fantastic.
Aren't they great? The photographers did a great job.
And
the layout, everything.
And you do, I mean, there's this gorgeous picture of you with all of these wood shavings, because your hobby is woodworking. Like, you love this.
I have a shop. When we redid the house in Woody Creek, first thing we built was this shop. I inherited a big barn, and we carved off a part to build a wood shop. And as the builders were building the house, redoing the house, they used the shop a lot. I'm a terrible carpenter, as I told you. You know, cut once, measure twice. Well, I cut immediately and go to Home Depot 6 times. That's my mantra. But I do love it, and I've got, it's a great shop. I got rock and roll playing, and I've got nice toys to play with, and I still have all my digits.
Cool. I heard what you started during Fargo, when they were doing Fargo, you started making bowls, right?
Yes.
That was your first.
I had time off. I went to a woodworking store, and there was a guy, Paul Kockelmeyer was his name, and he had a little flyer saying, "Learn how to turn." So I went to the house and met the wife and the daughters, and we went down to the basement and started turning bowls. So I bought a little Delta lathe, and I set it up in this warehouse where we were shooting Fargo, some of it.
Was it freezing?
It gets cold up there, but there's often a January thaw, so they were looking everywhere for snow.
Wow.
Ain't that the way?
Yeah, fun fact. Okay. Yeah. So you were making bowls. Let's get back to that.
Turning bowls, and then finally someone said, "The hell is that? What's he doing over there?" But by that time I'd turned 6 or 7 bowls, and I gave everyone a bowl, so I was golden. One of the things that Mark and Pat and Mary set out to do was two rules. Make the spirits we want to drink, and make them as fine as they can be made without excuses, no cut corners. And Pat and Mary have the resources to do that. So our spirits are as fine as they can be made, and you can taste it. You can actually taste it.
Well, I think I want to taste.
Barkeep?
I think you guys need a refresher.
Oh,
Bill, that was so great. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks.
Jamie, this issue is so beautiful. What else can we find in the issue?
Well, not that it really matters, because we have William H. Macy.
What do you know?
But it's all the usual stuff: shopping, dining. We cover a couple of artists and just things for you to do in October. It's a great issue, though, and we're so appreciative.
It's a beautiful magazine, beautifully put together, too.
Cheers to that.
Here's cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
And this gorgeous bar that we're sitting at.
That's right.
Williams and Graham.
Williams and Graham, one of the
Williams and
great
Graham.
bars in Denver. Here's to you.
It all begins right here in the rugged Colorado mountains. Our crystal clear Rocky Mountain water is the lifeblood of our distillery, It starts off as pristine snow on our magnificent peaks. When it melts, it makes its way down the valley and into our distillery as the first ingredient of our award-winning spirits. And this water is cold. I mean, really cold. I'm getting out. This is really cold. Woo!
And so I go to the distillery 2-3 times a week, and I play my ukulele songs and sing. And I take Gus, my dog. We have a tasting room at the distillery, and it's the coolest bar in Aspen, if I do say so.
Okay.
I mean, where else can you take your dog?
You do say so. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, I think that's fantastic. So you sing, you play the uke. Are you going to play for us a little something?
There's a big controversy about the old fashioned. You know, there's the old fashioned, which was 1903, I think it was the first time it appeared in print, and it sort of got codified in the 70s. But now there's a new old fashioned, and I was scandalized, so I wrote this song. I love a good old fashioned, not a new old fashioned. I'm an old fashioned guy. So if you make it right, we'll hang out all night. Raise your glass, here's mud in your eye. You put some ice in a glass. Now please don't laugh, but make sure your ice is cold. Shake or two of Angostura, but not before you pour a little sugar so it's sweet and bold. If you don't muddle the fruit, it's like wearing a suit without putting on a shirt or a tie. Use a fine old bourbon, but if I could put a word in, you might try my Woody Creek Rye. You see what I did there? I love a good old fashioned, not a new old fashioned. I'm not shy to tell you why. I believe the old trope about things that ain't broke, so I'm an old fashioned guy. Bop-a-dop-a-dop-a-dop-a-dop-bop. I'm an old fashioned guy.
Oh, very cool. You can pick up October's Denver Life magazine featuring William H. Macy. More online at denverlifemagazine.com.